Good evening, dear spectators, and welcome to this evening where we introduce you and all the racers to Born to Race Turbo Cup round 1 of the all-year-long series, which will be broadcasted on Sim Broadcasts every first Wednesday of the month. This race series will cover every week though, so if you are willing to race, just pop on the Born to Race server and join the practice, qualifying and race and have fun. This series is brought to you, as I mentioned, by Born to Race team, which has been in LFS for a long time already, and they have been organizing races in the past, most recently road tires racing, open wheel series, and Oval Wednesdays. They boast member base which counts tens of members, and now they're excited to see all of you in their brand new series which fills the empty Wednesday slot. I'm Zdeněk Cagaš, and with me is Miika Sarkinen from Finland, and we will guide you through today's race.
Good evening, fellas. I'm very excited to do this new series. I've been commenting on Ronnie's Tuesday fun races, the Excel version mostly, but this is new territory for me and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and as the name of the series suggests, we are using the turbo cars, the class, one of the most popular among all of them in LFS, which consists of 3 cars. There are XRT, RB4, and FXO. For this series, the organizers have chosen to restrict 2 of these cars to balance the class for closer racing. As you can see, XRT has 2% of air intake restriction, FXO has 5% as the most powerful and arguably the easiest to drive but hard to master car. And the RB4 has 0% air intake restriction. We have been told by one of our insiders in this series that RB4, although not the fastest of the cars, will benefit from this zero air intake restriction. So we will see how these cars do. Today we are racing on the Aston National configuration, which consists of few very long straights, 3 hairpins, and 1 chicane, which is notorious for ruining races for many drivers. As of now, the qualification is running and the final drivers are finishing their attempts. And then after the qualification follows a race for 28 laps, which should be approximately 1 hour long. In the race, there is 1 mandatory pit stop where no work is required, but every driver has to take it. So it will be interesting to see when the drivers take the stop and how they use it to their advantage. Miika, do you like the turbo class?
I like them pretty much. Of course, the cars are quite different to drive, even though they're very similar. But it's for these 3 cars, it's mostly opinion, like who likes which car and how they manage the tires and so. But it's very nice, like mid-speed class and very close racing usually happening with these cars.
Yeah, that's right. To finish up the introduction to the series, you can see the calendar of the broadcasts, which will be made by simbroadcast.tv, broadcasted on Twitch and YouTube. As I said, these broadcasted races take place every first Wednesday of the month until end of the year. But to remind you, the race series runs every Wednesday. Just not every race is broadcasted. So remember that and join in for the fun. So we still have 2 cars finishing their hot laps. As of now, we have full grid, and some cars will not make the cut. I cannot see it in the table, but I see 40 cars having finished a lap, and some cars already pushed out of the table, as we can see on our screens right now. In the first place, we have Vytautas Lagutskas, followed by Mantas, Unite, Enric 98, Botsi, and so on. And we will try to wait for the graphics if they will reveal to us how many drivers are currently in the table. Guy finishing the first sector of the track, which is right now under the bridge, taking it nice and smooth, and now entering the long straight which goes uphill, slightly uphill, then downhill, and takes the right turn up to the hairpin on the end of the straight. So, but no time to rest. You still have to take a proper line to not lose speed and use all the width of the track. Miika, as we are watching Guy finishing his lap, which car do you enjoy the most from this class?
I would say I'd probably go with the same as the most of the field, which seems to be XRT, mostly because I'm very much into the rear-wheel drives. It seems to me quite interesting that Logotskas got the top time with RB4, which isn't quite used, and you can see some RB4s in 21st, 23rd place. And Lagotskas even got the pole position by 4/10, so that's very impressive from him.
Yeah, and we saw live as Guy has made a big mistake in his XRT in the final chicane, which in the end cost him a place in the race because he missed the cut by half a second, and I believe that is what the amount of time he lost in the chicane. The RB4, as I mentioned, was guessed by our insider for a good placement, but there are not many RB4s in the field so far. But most importantly, the best RB4, as you mentioned, Miika, is on the pole position, driven by Vytautas Lagutskas, which shouldn't come as a surprise because knowing him and knowing his qualities, it should be expected of him to do well in every car.
Yeah, he certainly is one of those guys that can just take any car and be fast with them. Yeah, he's got some extraordinary skill behind him.
Exactly, his setuping skills also, but with him also being quite generous sometimes and donating his setups to other drivers to help them, but he's probably the only one who can drive them properly, so...
Yeah, having driven like a couple of his setups myself, they're usually a little bit understeery for my liking, but I gotta admit they are usually faster than any other that I try. So he's very good with the setups as well.
I agree with you, because I have tested some of his setups in Ronnie's series, and while they are oversteery, they tend to be very gentle on the tires, to say.
Yeah, for sure. But gentle on the tires would be good for the race because for such a long race as this, the tire management would play a part, and you can easily overdrive the cars and destroy your tires, which then slows you down quite drastically at some point of the race.
Indeed, even on this track, which consists of few very long straights, the tires will be have to be managed. So we will see how the drivers do. As it has been brought to my attention that another RB4 has made a mark in the drivers' qualifying table, and it's Twin Cam, who has driven time of 2 minutes 6 seconds and 24 hundredths, and it's just 0.3 of a second behind Vytautas Lagutskas in second place. So now we have two RB4s, which will provide them with a clean start because of their four-wheel drive advantage of the line.
Yeah, there's still the 0.3 of a second between Lagutskas and Twin Cam, but I bet those guys will have a good battle, intense battle on their first lap. As we are watching apparently our last car on the track for the qualifying, which is Firestarter, and let's see him finish up his lap.
Yeah, as he drives up to the final hairpin, brakes as late as possible, but seems like he takes the turn very smoothly, gentle on the throttle on the exit and down to the chicane. Brakes just before the 50-meter mark and takes advantage of all the space the track offers and hits the tires that will cost him a few tenths of a second.
Yeah, you really want to use those curbs and cut as much as you can with these cars. But obviously, hitting those tires isn't too optimal and probably affected his time quite a bit there.
But even despite the hit of the tires, this time was good enough for him to qualify in 20th place. So, well done. And we are going to check the qualifying results, as you can see, and as we mentioned, Vytautas Lagutskas comfortably in the first place, Twin Cam in second, followed by his teammate Mantas. So, organizing team Born to Race taking the second and third place, which is very well done by them. Fourth place is Unite from Sidus. Then Rick 98 Botsi, another Born to Race member 136 MPH, Tobis, Iron Donny, Leo, Schiff, I guess. I apologize. Dodislav, Rimac Motorsport, Jarmolo Kirill, Born to Race Dennis, Victor Veloso, Kig, Storm, Firestarter, all within 1.5 seconds of the leader. Then it's Tree Jump, Adam, Rodolfa, RD2, Maciek, Yarikatila, apologies, Gabor in 27, probably trying to enjoy his race to the fullest. Rocket, Zip LFS, Augustin, Yasin, Stiefla, J. Cooper, Egorka, Alexei, Possum, Quinteiros, Teemu Soini, Kaike Piropo, and Roni, probably the final driver to qualify. We are going to see the last 7 drivers who probably didn't make the cut, which is Japon, TR Ken, Bezus, Guy, T-Bug, Adal, and Jay Onier. If I pronounce this name correctly, if not, I apologize. We have seen the percentage required for the times to hit certain marks, and only one driver who didn't make the required maximum out time. So, what are your predictions for the race, Miika?
This one might be hard to predict. I was pretty surprised seeing Gabor down there in the 27th position, which is apparently some mix-up with the setup that wasn't fully prepared. But I hope he'll get it fixed for the race, and I can see him climbing up the field quite rapidly.
Yeah, I believe he will do well, because his 27th place is only 400ths of a second far from the 23rd, and basically all the field in the midfield is very, very bunched up. So if he uses the start, if he does well after start and in the first lap, I expect him to climb quite a few positions very soon. Yeah, and we will see how many drivers will from the original qualifying will actually start the race, because the grid is being set based on the drivers still present in the server. So if anybody leaves, somebody from the bottom 7 can fill up their spot. This track has been raced, I think, 2 years ago in Ronnie's Tuesday fun race with RB4 exclusively. And I think I remember that this car was quite difficult to drive, but manageable. And as we mentioned, we have top 2 drivers with RB4. So if I were to predict, I think Lagutskas will hold his own, even with the speed disadvantage which the RB4 might have. We will see how the cars actually do with the restrictions on this track, how Born to Race have managed to balance the cars for this combo. But I think our winner comes from the top 5 or 6, but probably top 3 in my opinion.
I would really agree with that. The top 5 drivers, they are very strong drivers, all of them, and it would take quite a bit of work to do from someone outside top 5 to get that win. But as said, the RB4, it's sometimes quite hard on the front tires if you just overdrive it even a little bit too much. So
yeah,
we'll see if that plays into the game at any stage.
So the top 2 guys will have to take advantage of the great start this car has of the line, and hopefully gain some gap from the rest of the field. 6th and 7th place are FXOs of Botsi and 136 MPH, who will struggle off the line massively, and they will be overtaken by quite a few cars, I believe, until they reach the turn 1. So hope we will see how they manage the damage this car has provided them by the front wheel drive on the start.
Yeah, they might have a bit of a advantage on the start, but we'll see how the actual pace will then ease up or like balance out in the middle of the race.
Yeah, as we are nearing the start, which should occur within 30 seconds, here's a reminder of the calendar of the series, which will be broadcasted every first Wednesday of the month, apart from this race, of course, every first Wednesday. And the series runs every Wednesday of the month. So remember, if you like Turbo Class, join and have fun. And we see the cars girding up for the 28 laps and 1 mandatory pit stop. Without us Lagutskas with his nickname or alias in the graphics on the pole position. The lights will go red any second now. 1, 2, and we are green. As we previously mentioned, RB4s have great start of the line. Lagutskas and Twin Cam taking advantage of it, already with a gap to Mantas Unite Rig. Botsi already falling behind, lost one or two positions, there's a big gaggle of cars trying to gain as much as possible. We are 4 or 5 wide in the midfield as the cars go through the turn 1 cleanly so far. Vytautas Lagutskas with twin cam on his tail, and all the field seems to make it through turn 1 cleanly, which is surprising. Usually there's some crash in the midfield, but drivers are skilled and prepared today. And twin cam is attacking Lagutskas from the outside, but Lagutskas holds. Oh, he goes deep. He goes very deep. So we will have a switchback from twin cam, who is trying to take advantage of this mistake.
That was a big mistake from Lagutskas and almost allowed twin cam to take the lead. As you said, that was a very clean start from the whole field. There was, as you saw, massive slide or understeer in the first corner, but of course heavy cars and cold tires. That happens. Anyway, they all managed it very well, as twin cam is still going side to side with Lagutskas closing down the last hairpin here. We'll see if he can try and outbrake him from the outside. It's going to be very close, right side to side. They almost make a little bit of contact here. But Lagutskas still holds the lead for now.
Yeah, that was very close. They're actually losing time to the XRTs. I was thinking they could cooperate, but twin cam tried to make most of it, and now they're all together. As I mentioned, the FXOs, they have dropped quite back from 6th and 7th down to 8th and 10th, so the start proved to be a real disadvantage for these cars. Twin cam making a mistake on the exit of the chicane and already under attack from his teammate Mantas. Unite watching it from behind and also taking advantage actually of this mistake, and Mantas twin cam losing 2 positions in one straight. As you can see, the chicane really takes no hostages.
This chicane is really tough. It's very bumpy and it's very easy to mess up, and when you do mess it up, it takes all the speed from your upcoming straight, and you're gonna lose a lot, as you saw with twin cam.
Yeah, now we have 4 cars in the midfield with Adam, 3 jump, and 2 more cars fighting for 15 to 18 position. Adam going to the inside of the first hairpin, and there's somebody wide ahead, but there was a good save, and Adam takes 1 or more positions in a very short time, as Lagutskas already running away comfortably, as everybody behind is fighting for the 2nd place. He says thank you, and off to the sunset he goes. Mantas settles into the 2nd place for now, as twin cam and Unite still fighting for the 3rd place. Mantas on the inside, but decides not to go for it and thinks better of it. As we see a snake of cars with occasional battles for position as the field stretches out, and everybody is trying to settle down into the race pace.
We got some good side action here. Rudolf looking for a spot here. The guys in front of him are just fighting each other, which will be Veloso and Adam. But Rudolf got a good exit from the last chicane and might just pull aside onto the main straight. As he does, and can he get them both here? No, he's actually losing a little bit of speed, as the other guys are doing a little draft work there. Closing down to the very wide first turn.
Yeah, sorry, he got boxed up in the formation the cars were in, and I should mention you are not allowed to bump draft in the series, as it's prohibited by the rules. So the cars have to be very aware of what they are doing on the track. As we see Egorka in the middle of this 3-car sandwich, and going to the outside, which will be to his advantage in the next turn. And apologies, it was actually Leo. And there's some mistake by the car ahead, and Leo goes to the 26th place. Now actually brakes later and tries to move around the outside, and it pays off. Very well done. That was a really good move by Leo.
Great job indeed, as Jari also got a good exit from the previous corner and is just behind there. And we got another battle on quite ahead. Bots is trying to make a move. And he's going to make a switchback from the tight hairpin here. That's a very neat move.
Yeah, Botsy trying to make up the places he lost because of the slow start. He takes advantage of the front wheel drive. That was a big hit to the tires from somebody ahead, but looks like everybody survived. So to finish the thought, FXO has an advantage in overtaking. In my opinion, it can brake a bit later, and because of the front wheel drive, it can exit the turns better. So that makes the passes a bit easier for the driver. Another bunch of drivers with a rocket, and that's Schiff. They are battling for 30th place, 20th to 30th, and Leo joins the pack as well. Rocket in the middle, looking to attack. He goes to the inside out of the draft, as we see Dennis braking very late into the hairpin, trying to take 5th place, and he holds the position. Very well done. He overtook Rick, who is not always an easy nut to crack.
We still got the battle going on between Rocket and Leo. Just behind him there was a little bit of contact. Leo is still hanging on just behind Rocket, who is also trying to look at overtake possibility from Schiff right ahead of him.
We also have a three-wide battle, or a 3-car battle between Gabor, Maciek, and that is Rodolfa. Gabor already 8 places up from his start position, looking very strong as we expected, and he's already making a move on Maciek, but not yet, as he was on the outside of the hairpin. But I believe the next straight will be his to make a move. Maciek takes the curb massively and hops over the gravel, actually, which is also the advantage of RB4, because you don't lose control of the car outside of the track limits so easily. As Kik attacks Dodislav and takes advantage of the overspeed and will have the inside for turn 1. And Twin Cam
right side by side with Unite. As we clip back to the battle with Dodislav and Kik. They are fighting it out from the first corner. There's a couple of cars behind them as well. They're all hungry for this position. There's pretty much a 4-way battle here for the 12th place, that is.
As we mentioned, this class is very evenly matched, and we are actually being witnesses to a very well balanced class, as Born to Race have managed to put intake restrictions into place, so all cars are racing together, and all action is happening all through the field. Now Victor Veloso having a better exit than Dodislav out from the second hairpin, after first split. And but they will go side by side into the long uphill right-hander, and Victor having the inside line, the outside line for the hairpin. He will have to settle behind the car. Oh, there was a slight bump. He bumped the car ahead wide, and Dorislav takes advantage. Actually goes almost to the 13th position, but he will be on the outside again and has to brake and loses the position. And, there's contact with Victor Veloso. Oh my!
Oh no! And they're going to the tires.
Big crash.
They are spinning.
It's Adam.
Adam suffered so much from that. That's very unlucky for him.
Yeah, very unfortunate. As Adam lost the most time by other drivers' mistake in the chicane. First proper victim of this turn, as we see first driver diving into the pit lane, who is Magic, trying to get some clean air, exiting the pit lane right now in 33rd place.
Car just on grass right before Magic. That was we got Twin Cam just side by side again, which I believe is Unite. Yeah. And Twin Cam's made it past, but is he just a little bit too deep? Can Unite make another move back? No, he can't. Twin Cam made it through for right now.
Twin Cam minimizing the damage he took after the start, so he will try to perhaps catch with Mantas, as we see Yasin leading this 3-car gaggle, but actually it's a big gaggle of cars. I don't know, from approximately 20th position down to almost 30th position. Firestart being in the middle of it, as we switch to Iron Donny, trying to make a move on 136 or 136, trying to make a move on Iron Donny. Apologies, but looks like he will think better of it and stays behind for now, and will see what action will he take.
He might be looking for a better exit from this last chicane. It's like he's setting it up, but we'll see how it goes. Can he keep it up? Yeah, he's going way better line here.
Very smooth exit from the chicane, and Jarmo had also fighting for position with Rick 98, who's actually on the downwards direction through the field, now finding himself in 9th position, 8th position. Started from P5, I believe, as Iron Donny still defending from a 136, but he uses the front wheel drive to his advantage really well, takes the tighter line through turn 1 and makes it through easily. As Vytautas Lagutskas still comfortably in the lead, increasing the gap to Mantas, who did very well in the opening laps, but seems like he can't keep up. Twin Cam, who overtook Unite just a while ago, in third place, and behind them is Dennis Botsi, who's also climbing back from the bad start. Jarmo, who just got his 7th position. And Dennis, Rick, Iron Donny, 136, and top 10. That rounds out our top 10.
Just outside the top 10, I see Gabor going up already on the 13th place, which is very good for him, starting on this 27th position. So he's done a very good climb so far.
Yeah, I don't know if you mentioned it, but I wonder if he messed up the qualifying. Oh my word. It was really wild, but very well saved and very well managed by both drivers. Firestarter with late dive and Rocket with good awareness. Oh, I have been just told that Gabor forgot to turn off the ABS in his setup, so that's why he dropped so deep down in the order.
We got still Firestarter side to side with Schiff. They're really going all elbows out, as we just saw in the last corners of the last lap. And Schiff is trying to go all the way outside. He just can't make it stick. Firestarter bumps him a little bit as they try to accelerate out of the corner. And Firestarter keeps ahead, but it's so close. They're gonna be side to side again. With this a little bit of chicane and then down to the hairpin here, which is coming up. Then we are left turn, and Firestarter is going to be on the inside line. Can he hold it? Schiff is again trying to go all the way outside, but can't carry the momentum and will still remain behind. But he's got the inside line for now, and it's a bit of a contact. Firestarter got really bad exit from the corner, and Schiff is finally making it past. But oh no, they're still side to side. They just can't decide.
Yeah. Bit of pushing involved, but this has to be accounted for with these tin top cars. This Firestarter is trying really hard to make up places. I think he was in P20 on the grid, dropped down after start, and now it's climbing back up as a Rocket has to defend, and Firestarter attacks ahead of them. Rocket lets the car behind through, and the Firestarter ahead, still looking for a gap downhill, going downhill through this chicane. Again, Twin Cam with Unite has been passed and tries to draft him back into turn one, but no, he won't do it now. He will try to wait for a better opportunity, as Unite went a bit wide, and that allows actually Twin Cam to get almost side by side with him. Unite gives him some space. Twin Cam says thank you, tries to use it, but the next turn is not to his advantage. He tries to draft Unite, but there will be no space for Twin Cam. Oh, there was a bump. There was a slight bump from Twin Cam to Unite, and Dennis is now involved as well.
Dennis is so hungry looking. The guys ahead of him fight each other, and he's just trying to use it to his advantage and maybe take a double overtake. As he got very good exit and actually goes side by side with Twin Cam and maybe even past him before the following corner.
Looks like Twin Cam is letting his teammate through to try and have a run on Unite, because of XRTs fighting together might be a better opportunity for B2R duo to beat Unite for his third position. Unite again running wide, which is second time in this lap. I don't know how his tires are doing, but this looks like this doesn't look like Unite. So many mistakes. Again, a bit wide to the chicane. He will not have a good run of the chicane. Now they will be 3, and Unite decides to bail out. So many mistakes in one lap. He's had enough. He dives into the pit lane and lets the B2R duo go. Now Dennis again on Twin Cam, who lets him by. These two will probably try to cooperate, as drafting might be beneficial on this track. Rick 98 again in fight with Jarmolo for 6th place, taking it back, but on the outside line for the turn one, with better exit of course, so he will hold the position for now. Let's see how he does into the first hairpin.
He's taking the slipstream, and he's probably going to attack the inside line. If he has enough speed carry into the first braking, and that's what he will do. but they break all the same time, and of course there's a little bit of contact again. It's all elbows out this race, but they still managed to keep it, and Rick 98 has the inside light for the next hairpin, and he's doing a very good job defending his position.
Yeah, hard but clean racing in between these two drivers, as actually Iron Donny is now right behind them. Am I right? No, that's not Iron Donny, apologies. As we are reaching the end of the lap 10, which makes it over 1/3 of the race, we are seeing the drivers in the top positions. The gap have been stabilized.
We just had 4 disconnects at the same time, and it appears to be they are all Finnish. They are all Finnish drivers, so that might be something with Finnish internet provider, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a big shame. Yes.
Let's hope I will still remain here.
Thanks for bringing this up, as Unite, Botsi, Temusoin, and Iron Donny have all been disconnected, and some of our top drivers are now gone from the race order. So yeah, that's a big shame and a big loss for the race, but yeah, unfortunately these things happen in online racing, so we will have to do without them for the rest of the race.
Yeah, the technical problems are a issue on real racing, but also unfortunately on sim racing as well. But it's a little bit of different technical problem that we're talking about. But it's unfortunate, it can happen sometimes.
Yeah.
But we just have to carry on.
Real life brings you mechanical issues, engine failures, punctures. In LFS, you get some of these and you get timeouts as a bonus.
Exactly.
We are watching 136 in 7th position, still hanging on to Jarmolo, but actually losing time as Gabor makes it up to P8 already, but courtesy of the disconnect of his fellow Finishman. But there's bump drafting involved from Tobis. I'm not sure if he read the rules, because as I mentioned earlier, it's forbidden, but seems it's all good for now. We will see if there will be some investigation after the race, but Gabor gains the place up to P8 and goes on to chase the 136 Jarmolo and the other drivers ahead. Tobis, actually, not a very well-known name as far as I am informed, but very, very, very good drive by him, as we see 3 jump in 26th place, fighting with other drivers, Stifla, and looks like he took the position on the outside. And Stifla hits the tires, and there's a car involved as well behind him, who was an innocent victim, and Stifla spectates. This is race done for him. Another victim of the chicane, as we watch Barbecue Possum, and being sandwiched into the turn 1. The car on the outside decides to bail out, but Possum brakes very late and lets his fellow racer Alexei take the inside line. Oh no, that was not Alexei.
That was Egorka going the red, white and black livery, and then that would be Possum on the all red car, and Alexei was the car behind with the very colorful livery.
Look down the inside. Sorry, Miika. Carry on.
Egorka, he got the place here from Possum, but Possum's still not giving it. He's fighting back, and Alexei didn't even have the final say in this. He's back to the battle as well, even though it looked like he just dropped out of them.
Yeah, and thanks to all this battling, this 3-car battle just became a 4-car battle, as RD2 is now also in the mix.
Now that's Possum just inside of Gorka as they're closing down the very tight hairpin here. Can Gorka keep up the momentum from outside? No, he quite can't. He wanted to go for the switchback, but he was just a little bit too late on the brakes and couldn't make it happen. So Possum takes the position for now, but Gorka might have a go at the final straight again. If he gets a good exit from the chicane, which he seems to be. Oh, RD2's got actually even better exit, and he's already on the side of the Gorka. As Alexei actually from the between went into the pits to serve his pit stop.
Yeah, and RD2 had very good run and could profit from what was happening ahead of him as we switch to Mantas, who is currently the fastest lap holder actually. It's not Vytautas Lagutskas, it's not Gabor, it's not anybody else, it's Mantas in XRT. Third place still belongs to Dennis, who took over from his teammate Twincam in third place and hasn't looked back since. Possum still fighting with RD2. RD2 looking down the outside and braking. Both drivers are braking very late, but making it just for the apex. Possum going very defensively, doesn't want to lose, but has to take the tighter line, and RD2 takes advantage of it and now has very good draft, and we'll see how he manages this possibility.
Yeah, Possum, he took a very early apex to go on full gas as soon as possible, and that paid off very well. He's just following Possum and almost getting side by side with him, but it's not quite enough. The XRT seems to be having a little bit more straight line speed, but RD2 is still trying to go all the way around the outside. Can't make it happen. It's so hard to try.
Both drivers almost running out of track.
See how much this final chicane will decide this time, as the tires are all gone already. RD2 with a good exit, having a run on Egorka as well. And Possum is taking the slipstream from Egorka, and they're actually going to be 3 wide soon. But again, it's a straight line speed for RD2. It's messing up with his overtake attempts. It's very hard to keep up when you're not just as fast and straight as the others. Possum dives very late into the inside, and it goes actually wide. That opens up the gap for Egorka and for RD2 as well. They might be both able to go past him from the inside. No, Possum still has got a very good drive out of the first corner.
Very brave move being done in this group. It's a late braking, but RD2 seems to take it very wisely, waiting for his opportunity while the other 2 cars are battling like crazy. Now he goes around the outside and looks like he might take the position into the next turn, and he is on the inside, and he is behind Egorka now, and actually side by side, but that leaves him vulnerable for the next straight. As Possum decided to bail out of the draft and goes behind RD2. All 3 drivers running downhill and through the uphill right-hander to the final hairpin before the final chicane. And RD2, actually not in the striking distance, has to defend, and Possum was a bit worried after his late dive in turn 1, but seems like he thought better of it, as Gabor Gabor again on the attack, already caught with 136, and gets 7th place. Already gained 18 places from the start, so we can see how his qualifying mistake definitely cost him better placement in the race. 136 still close behind, as he's taking advantage of the front wheel drive on the exit of turn 1, maybe bumping Gabor. He's probably not, but it's very close. But he probably knows there is better chance of staying behind and not lose time fighting with Gabor, and Gabor is through for, I think, for sure. And ahead is already Jarmolo in P6. After the timeout of few drivers, Jarmolo gained few positions and will be under attack by Gabor, as Egorka is under attack from RD2. RD2, as I mentioned, playing it wisely. Egorka braking very late, very late, almost hits Zip, but luckily the ABS did its work, and there was no major incident for now. But it seems like this group seems like it's a disaster in making. And as we see Gabor and Jarmolo again, they swapped position 2 times. Meanwhile, as we watched RD2 battling for the 20th position, and Gabor with a great exit from the chicane with this great camera shot, we can see his license plate, and he's using the draft to his advantage, takes the inside. Jarmolo maybe playing it tactically, but let's see what he does into turn 1. It's still side by side. I don't think this will work for him. Oh, that's very close. Gabor squeezes Jarmolo, but Jarmolo bails out, and Gabor, well, runs a bit wide, so it's still going on. It's very close. Gabor tries to take the tight line, squeezes Jarmolo, but Jarmolo has none of it. Takes the position back, so this is still ongoing.
This is very close racing. This like as close as it gets without major contact, and Gabor just dives inside with a very late move.
Yeah.
And he's down to the inside of the hairpin, and he's made it past, but can he keep it? Can Jarmolo go natural time here?
Ooh.
He's trying.
That's
it's a contact.
Yes.
But they can hold it, luckily, and have got both good exit here.
Jarmolo definitely having none of it. Doesn't give it to Gabor for free, but he lost the draft. Seems like maybe not. He's on the edge of the draft, I guess. Still, probably in the draft. Actually, he's closing on Gabor. He's giving us quite a show, as we saw into the first hairpin, blocking on the last second. Now going on the outside for the hairpin. Brakes very late, very late, and actually stops in time, and still on the outside of Gabor with better position for the chicane. This is wonderful stuff. This is what we have been waiting for, and this is a really great battle. Jarmolo still holding his position, jumps and hits the tires and loses control. Gabor hits him, and Jarmolo goes to the pit lane. So we have had a really wonderful lap and a half, or 1 lap of racing, as Jarmolo makes a quick stop. Gabor takes 6th position ahead of 136, who had this all in the best spectator seat.
That was a close call, but we got Rudolf fighting with Dodislav as they come down side to side. They're closing the hairpin here. Rudolf is on the inside with the green car. Can he stick it? Yes, he can make it past, and Dodislav cannot keep up quite with speed. But he's got very good exit, and he's still in slipstream, so he might have a go on the next corner.
Yeah, Kai Kepiropo, long time no see in streamed LFS events. Now in 13th place, fighting with Jari Katila. XRT versus RB4. Jari. And we are switching to three wide battle and fourth car watching it from behind. RD2. There's contact. RD2 involved and he loses control. There was definitely a bit of lack contact, but that's very unlucky for RD2 who was waiting for his opportunity and loses it all. Possum.
Oh, no. And there's another contact in the middle
between
of the car.
Egorka and the driver ahead.
That's Zip LFS.
Zip, yes, thank you. Very intense battle for the 20th, 19th, 20th, and 21st position. It's all going on through the field as we switch back to Kai Kepiropo and Jari Katila. Jari looking down inside, braking, but not late enough. There was no possibility to brake any later without crashing. As we see another driver, Dennis, from third position, going for his pit stop, drops down to fifth, sixth position, and Rock. His stop took approximately 16 seconds as we see him being overtaken by Tobis. So from third to eighth, you can see how much time it cost. Tobis running a bit wide, so Dennis might be involved in fight for second position very soon. As more drivers make their pit stops, more drivers make their personal bests as the tires wear out and they get better grip, as it is in LFS.
Pagotska's going a very good pace on the top, still hasn't made pit stop, and he's already running to a back marker here, which is Roni, which is just one on the last car.
This?
Oh,
Rooney,
however you say that name. Well, he still managed to keep it, and Lagatskas was just able to go from the inside.
I was about to make a reference to old Mooney, but because their nicknames are similar, but Rooney actually managed to stay on the track and didn't cause any trouble to Lagutskas. Twin cam jumping wildly through the chicane. Rick jumping not so widely, avoiding narrowly the tire stack. Gabor doesn't avoid the tire stack, but no problem for him, as Tobis already under attack from Dennis, as I predicted a few turns ago. Goes to the outside, out of the draft, and I don't think Tobis will cause him any trouble because he didn't make his pit stop yet. Actually, Dennis is the best placed driver who made his pit stop, so now he will have to wait and see how the others do. But Tobis looked like he had a look, but Dennis had a good drive around the outside.
Yeah, Dennis having much more pace than Tobis, so that was an easy-ish overtake for him, but you know, it's never easy. That's a very solid, good job from him.
Yes, still I have to commend Tobis for his performance today. As I said, I haven't seen this driver around, and he's doing very well in this car in this competition. He has some very good drivers behind him, like Victor Veloso, Rudolf, Kai Kepiropo, and so on. So kudos to him.
We got another battle going down here. Blossom is looking for a overtake on Kick. And he's going a very wide line in the hairpin. Doesn't really pay off in the exit either. So he's just lost a little bit. As there's also cars right behind him having battle with each other. That would be Zip and Egorka.
Yeah, our familiar group fighting for 90 to 23rd place. As we are watching Zip in 21st taking and then Rick makes it to the pit lane. Another driver from the top 10 who stops for the mandatory pit stop. Doesn't change anything as he is not required to. Exits in P8, crosses the exit line a bit. I don't know if this is allowed in this series.
For what I remember the rules, you have to keep 2 wheels like on the line. So
very well. As I see, Rudolfa was in the pits as well, and he had to refuel. Actually, he spent almost 9 seconds stationary, so that cost him a lot of time drops deep down the order.
We'll still get the 3-way battle going between Zip, Egorka, and Firestarter. They're closing down to the first corner. And Egorka is trying to go outside Zip, but just can't pick it in there. Oh, Zip actually struggling a bit in the middle of the corner as well as Firestarter. Now that's an interesting way to come out of the first corner. And they're still all 3 so close to each other. Egorka looking for a go into the hairpin from the inside, and he's actually passed. Oh, but he got
very
a massive
sideways.
slide. Oh, that almost opened up a gap for Firestarter, but he got a little bit sandwiched in there between them.
Yeah, this trio keeping us entertained. Egorka, most of them all, because he's been in all the midfield battles we have been watching tonight, and he is still racing. His race has to be one of the most competitive from all the drivers in the field. As I see Victor Veloso spectated a while ago. Don't know for what reason. As Egorka racing very closely with everybody, throwing apologies in the chat, but I don't think they are necessary. This is just the kind of racing these cars provide.
Yeah, they're very equally matched, so it's very easy to have a very tight battle. But almost in their own series, we got Lagotskas on the first place, 4.5 seconds ahead of Mantas in second place. Oh, Kirill's gotten off in the last corner. Oh, that's
one of the Lukoil duo, as Egorka and Kirill are probably teammates, wearing the same skin. Spun after he hit the tires, and Egorka hits the tires as well again, and loses another position to 3 jump on the exit of the chicane. Really, these guys event cannot be more eventful. Sky Capiropo spectates after his pit stop. Again, not sure what happened, but his race is over now. He was doing very well. He was in P13, I think, but whatever happened must have been urgent, because he left without any warning, any error, as far as I know.
Yep, we're already on the lap 21 out of 28, so we're closing down to the final stages of the race. Lagoska still leading. Gabor has climbed all the way to the 4th place, but I believe he hasn't still taken the pit stop, which will probably drop him a couple places back.
Yeah,
but
we are still waiting for all the drivers in top 5 to make their pit stops, as we are watching Gabor using all the available track on the exit of the hairpin. Dennis behind him. Dennis with the fastest lap. 2 minutes 6 seconds 17 hundredths. Very good effort by Dennis, who's looking to finish in P2 if everything goes well, as we are watching Firestarter side by side with Zip. on the outside for the hairpin, brakes very late, a little bit sideways, doesn't give... Zip also a bit wide, not hitting the apex well, so there was a bit of contact. Firestarter on the inside for the chicane. This is not a good setup for the next turn. Still side by side, Zip has to bail out of this, and both drivers actually make it cleanly through. Firestarter in 18th place. Zip still with the draft, so he still has opportunity to fight back.
What to say, good effort from Firestarter to get past, but Zip, he got very good drive out of the last chicane, and he's already passed before the first corner. So that's quite a remarkable speed difference here on the main straight.
Yeah, Firestarter looking down the inside, showing himself in Zip's mirror, and Zip had to take a bit wider line because this psychological game actually worked for Firestarter, who now has the inside for the next fast right-hander, but still has to be on the outside for the hairpin. And will he fight? That is the question we are seeing the answer to right now. And Firestarter backs off and slots back behind Zip for now. Still, Firestarter seems like he's very brave on the brakes, tries to use advantage of his braking skills and his setup to make these overtakes. So far it has worked for him. He climbed up from mid-20s back to 19th place and fighting for 18th position. So using all his skills and racing skills and setup skills for his gain, as Dennis in 6th position is being his teammate lets him through up to P5, as he knows that Dennis is in the contention for 2nd place. Now we have 4 drivers of Born to Race in top 6, with Gabor being in P4 and Lagutskas obviously in P1. As we had another incident in the chicane, Quinteiros hit the tires, hit the Shift S buttons, and hit the end of the race. That makes at least 3 or 4 victims of the chicane this race.
Yeah, already. It's the chicane is quite a killer, and we got 3 jump battling now with Firestarter. Going through the first corner, Firestarter still keeping his place. 3 jump not quite able to pull up move. You can see some heavy damage on the car of Firestarter, but it won't probably affect the driving actually too much. It was a early damage, but it's mostly just visual, so doesn't really bother him that much.
As we are watching from the car of 3 jump, long old timer of LFS, has been around since like 2003, still racing, still going strong, and still performing very well, fighting for 18th position with Firestarter, who got through actually, but still.
Sorry to interrupt, but our leader Lagutskas just made his pit stop, and that promotes Mantas to the 1st place for right now. And Twinken has apparently pitted just as well. So exciting stuff happening in the front. That means Gabor is actually now very close to Lagutskas, but Gabor still, of course, has his stuff to do, as well as Mantas, who is in the 1st place.
Yeah,
Lagutskas only 6, almost 7 seconds behind Mantas, so that should be easy overtake during the pit stop.
Yeah, Gabor temporarily in 3rd position from P25. Still, as mentioned, didn't make his pit stop, has a back marker, Rooney, ahead of him. Rooney should be seeing the blue flags and letting him through soon to not cause any delay, and that happens right now, no problems. Dennis already in P4 after his contenders stopped for their mandatory pit stops, and we are going back to RD2, who after his crash in the 3 wide situation is back on Rocket's tail. This driver should have been definitely deep within top 20 territory, unfortunately, as this race provides very close racing with some contacts. It was not to be today. So he's drafting. He's looking down inside of Rocket, but without overlap. Might be braking a bit later for the hairpin, but still showing his patience throughout all this race. He's been very patient and still is patient, even though I think as the race is nearing its end, he should be a little bit more aggressive to gain some positions. As Gabor goes to the pit lane for his mandatory pit stop. And it's a no problem stop. 1 second off he goes. Drops down to P6 for now. Should be overtaken by Dodislav before he exits the pit lane, or it will be very close. But looks like Dodislav is comfortably through. And Gabor has 4 laps to actually make something out of this situation, as he's overtaken also by Rick. It's very close. As we are watching Rocket and RD2 with some contact. As I mentioned, RD2 probably a bit more aggressive as I suggested him to be, but didn't pay off for now. More drivers stopping in the closing laps. Kirill, Possum, RD2 throwing apology to the chat. Zip LFS pits, Rocket stops, everybody stops.
So we got still a couple of cars, Mantas 136 and Dodislav and even Schiff are still needing to pit. So they're leaving it very close to the end.
Gabor very close behind Rick, already on the inside of Rick, and going from the second hairpin in his draft, as we are watching Mantas going down to the final chicane. Let's see if he pits, because he still has to pit. Decides not to go to the pits for now. So we switch to Gabor, who is fighting with Rick. And Gabor makes an easy job out of it. Rick passed him on the pit lane exit, but Gabor decides he wants the P7 really badly, and he takes it as it was his all along.
Yeah, Gabor's up 19 places from where he started, so that's a very good drive from him. And there's still a couple laps to go, and there's Dodislav just before him, just under 2 seconds. So Gabor might want to take a look at it, as we have Rocket still in battle with a Egorka, and there's actually Jay Cooper just ahead of them as well. It's almost another three-way battle again. Will Rocket go for this here? Ooh, there's a contact again.
Contact, yes.
That sends Egorka wide. Oh, but they still managed to keep it relatively safe here.
Yeah, Rocket throws an apology for this contact because it looks like it was his fault, and to cost them a bit of time, which Jay Cooper uses to his advantage to drive away from this chaotic battle, because Egorka is just a battle magnet in this race. As we are watching Mantas, who actually drove the fastest lap, 2:06.02, which is very good effort considering the pole position was just less than 2/10 faster. Back to Rocket.
Another run here, just inside Egorka on the first corner, and it's a very late break here, but he managed to keep it. And Egorka trying to go for like a switchback here, but this is not the corner to do so. you usually want to take a wide line here. It's very close racing, but it seems like Rocket is through. No, Egorka still got a very good drive, just inside him.
As
Not inside,
Mantas,
but
apology,
side
as
to side.
Mantas improves the fastest lap under 2 minutes 6 seconds. Apologies, it's 2:05.98 right now. As 136 makes his pit stop, Egorka goes to the outside. Rocket has to defend. So this lap is in, and he has a. He breaks the speed limit in the pit lane and has 30-second penalty added to his time, so that will hurt a lot.
We got Rudolph still looking for possible overtake on Jari Katila. They're on the main straight right now, starting the 27th lap.
Yeah,
And
which battle should we watch? Because there's still so much happening. 27 laps in, and Egorka on the inside, getting back to 24th place, 23rd place. Should be, yes. And he's through, and judging by his race, I don't think this is over. Rudolfa on the inside of Jari Katila, and looking to gain 12th place. On the outside, through this left-hander, stays on the outside.
Oh, he tries to switch back to the inside, but can't quite make it. That costs him actually a little bit. He could have gone like outside and try to create momentum to the following hairpin, where he would be inside line.
I think Jari saw Rudolfa trying to go to the inside and had a change of mind and tried to defend on the last second, which was actually too late, I think, as Jay Cooper is fighting for position, and Mantas makes the final pit stop. Lagutskas goes through, and this is the final lap, and it's not as far as it was, because Mantas exits the pit lane with a smaller gap than it was when he was in the racing order behind Lagutskas. Still down in the midfield, battles happening all over the place as the leaders are closing to the first split of the final lap. Zip fighting with Jay Cooper for 23rd place. Zip has been in our cameras a lot this race as well, because he's been close to Egorka, I guess. But looks like no pass will happen right now.
We still got Kirill fighting with Possum on the last chicane, starting the last lap from here. But that's bad exit from Kirill, which allows Possum to breathe a little bit. Everyone's had their pit stops done, which is correct, as we're on the final lap already. So it will be late to do it, but everyone's served.
Oh, still Egorka. His race is really not over. He hit the tires in the chicane, and his eventful race comes to an eventful end. Hopefully it's all that will happen to him as we switch to Vytautas Lagutskas, who is going through the final hairpin before the final chicane of the final lap. Nice and smooth. Uses all the AstroTurf on the exit or artificial surface. Down to the chicane as we see him from the blimp, from the aerial camera. Nicely through the chicane, avoids the tires, nicely exits the chicane, and after dominating performance, finishes as we expected, I think. P1. Congratulations to Vytautas Lagutskas. Second place goes to Mantas, not as far as he was before pit stops. Dennis in third place. Fourth place goes to Twincam in the second RB4, who dropped down to P2.
Oh, we still got a battle back behind Possum going on Kirill. And they're side to side just in the closing stage of the final lap. This is the A long straight leading to the tight hairpin in the end. And Possum is trying to take all that slipstream. Will he dive for the inside line? Yeah, he will try and not break him. Oh, but he's actually getting it. But Kirill goes through.
Kirill doesn't want to give it for free in the final turns, in the closing stages. And he's on the inside for the chicane.
And they all side to side. Will they? Oh, Kirill will yell up a little bit and try how to go.
Very brave. He bumps
him,
but
each other.
Surprisingly, they make it through without any kills.
Possum just gets it. Kirill yells up that much. Even though he tried to push himself through, but that was a close one for sure.
Yeah, we definitely have to thank the Lukoil branded cars for a very good action today. We are watching the winner without us, Lagutskas. We will finally be able to finish the racing order.
Yeah, we got Rocket run out of field. He dived into the pits on the last lap. Oh, he's gonna lose some place here for sure.
Will he be able to refuel and get moving before the game spectates him? Oh, he's moving. He's good. He will make it to the finish line. Still being passed by the Alexei, and now we have all drivers across the line, with Rocket being the last one to cross it, the only one with 2 pit stops, as we saw. He had to make an emergency stop for fuel. So that concludes this very eventful race. Just under 1 hour of very intense racing throughout the whole field, with Lagutskas comfortably winning from Mantas and Dennis Twincam dropping 2 positions to P4, Gabor gaining 20 positions up to P5. His setup mistake definitely cost him better place, but his performance is really remarkable. Rick 98 keeping his P6 in the end. Still have to mention that we lost 4 Finnish drivers, 2 from Sidus, from top places, but still, nevertheless, very good achievement. Jarmolo in P7, 136 in P8, Tobis, very good performance in P9, Maciek ends up in P10, Jarek Attila P11, Rudolfa, Kik, Firestarter, Schiff, 3 jump in P16 in the end, RD2, Dodislav, Possum, Kirill, the first Lukoil branded car, which provided us with a very good eventful race. Zip LFS, Jake Cooper, Egorka, the second Lukoil branded car, Yasin, Alexei, Rocket, and Rooney, the final finisher. As we see the massive list of DNFs, some of them definitely taken by the tires in the final chicane, but still 27 finishers is a very, very good result. And 40 starters, the full grid of cars is a very good advertisement and very good invitation for you. If you want to join this series, you have been just a witness to a demonstration of what kind of racing you can expect, and I'm sure you will enjoy it as well as we did. What do you think, Miika? How did you like this race?
Well, I liked it a lot. As you said, it was a very eventful race. There was a lot of wheel-to-wheel elbows out, just a little bit of contact battles going on, and it was actually so exciting. I just might try and go for a run myself and following rounds. Anyway, can't wait to see the other runs that we're going to commentate, and maybe, don't know if I might go for the try on once I'm not in the comment box here. But here you can see the runs we are going to commentate, which are always the first Wednesday of the month, continuing on the May 3rd, which is the same time as today, as you can see on the screen. And I hope we're going to see you next time then.
Yeah, still remember the series runs every week, so even though you cannot see some dates in the calendar of broadcasts, you can still participate as in the same weekly schedule as the other LFS races, same as Fragmasters, Fox Friday, GTI Thursday. Now we have B2 Born to Race Turbo Cup Wednesday. So every week of the year, we are looking forward to a good racing, and as Miika already said, every first Wednesday of the month, we will see you here on Sim Broadcast for the race broadcast. So to conclude, this has been me, Zdeněk Cagaš, and with me, Miika Sarkinen. It has been a pleasure to commentate for you, and we will see you next time.
See you next time. Goodbye.